I have to call corporate right now in front of your store? Please, God, piece of you don't cuss at me! Yeah, you go ahead. Cussing at me! I'm gonna call your manager. And act like you're gonna throw something at me! You don't cuss at me! You cuss at me!
At a local Pizza Hut, Karens confront workers.
Ma'am, I can't do anything if you're going to be yelling and bug me behind the counter.
Corporate number for Pizza Hut.
Ma'am, you have to step back first. Please.
I want my pizza remade right now.
Ma'am.
He threw that at me and acted like he was going to throw something at me. I want it remade now!
Making a fuss and berating people who are just trying to make a living for a billion-dollar corporation.
Hey, you're cussing at me and calling me a throwing pizza at me and trying to throw pizza at me. No, you tried to throw the pizza at me. You tried to throw the pizza. Your manager is going to see this video. Your manager is going to see the video. I want my pizza remade. I want to talk to another
Please step
manager.
back. You need to calm
No, but I'm calling corporate on Jordan back there because he called me and tried to throw pizza at me.
Calm down. Stop yelling at our employees and stay behind the counter or else we have to call the cops. That's not optional for us. That's our corporate policy. If you keep yelling at us and come behind the counter.
Madness. The fact that this gentleman has to talk to a grown-ass woman like a child to explain the rules of a chain restaurant shows how far we continue to fall. What this video symbolizes is something we have discussed previously. Although you hear 60 Minutes and other mega corporations put blame on the workers, calling them lazy, blah, 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 surveys actually suggest another group shoulders some of the blame. Consumers who have treated workers poorly and led some of them to quit their retail jobs and refuse to return. In a poll of restaurant workers from earlier this year, 8 in 10 said that they had experienced hostile behavior from customers who didn't want to follow COVID protocols. About half said they were considering leaving their jobs, and of that group, 4 in 10 said this was because of customer hostility and harassment. LAS provides more insight and hopefully, truly, the unruly customers pay attention. Restaurant work is physically exhausting. You're on your feet most of the time. Wages are low. Hours are long. Many food service jobs don't come with employer-sponsored health care, paid sick days, or paid vacations. If you're a server, you have to cater to rude and demanding customers. If you're in the kitchen, you're working in close proximity to other people, increasing your risk of catching COVID and other transmissible diseases. Employers don't always enforce safety measures. Wage theft and harassment are rampant in the hospitality industry. During the pandemic, servers have been screamed at and attacked by patrons who are angry about mask mandates or long wait times. It's not just your imagination, wrote the New York Times' Sarah Lyall. Behavior really is worse. In a study of 1,000 American adults during the pandemic, 48% of adults and 55% of workers said that in November 2020, they had experienced that civility in America would improve after the election. By August, the expectations of improvement had fallen to 30% overall and 37% among workers. Overall, only 39% of the respondents said they believed that America's tone was civil. The study also found that people who didn't have to work with customers were happier than those who did. That point is huge. In 30 plus years of studying retail and crisis situations, we have never seen a situation of customers being so rude to hourly employees. Larry Barton, a professor of crisis management and public safety at the University of Central Florida, told Business Insider. It's demoralizing and, as we saw with the shooting of the security guard, a sometimes deadly environment. The San Francisco Chronicle reported in a recent survey by job hunting site Joblist, more than 50% of workers who were offered incentives to come back, like higher pay and benefits, preferred to enter a different industry. Considering the abuse, who can blame them? The meanness of the public has forced many public-facing industries to rethink what used to be an article of faith, that the customer is always right. If employees are now having to take on many unexpected roles, therapist, cop, conflict resolution negotiator, then workplace managers are acting as security guards and bouncers to protect their employees. In part, the problem is the disconnect between expectation and reality, said Melissa Swift, U.S. transformation leader at the consulting firm Mercer. Before the pandemic, she said, customers had been seduced into the idea of the frictionless economy, the notion that you could get whatever you wanted the moment you wanted it. That has changed, and unfortunately the attitudes of unruly customers have not.